After every mission, we are required to debrief to higher headquarters about what went down. Whether the mission went well, or if it turned into a nut roll, we have to talk about it. We learn from the good, the bad, the ugly, when we talk out loud about the 5 W's of who, what, where, when, and why. Guilt is something that needs to be debriefed. Guilt is not a popular topic. Many avoid it like an IG inspection, and we all know why. It hurts. Guilt weighs us down like a 150-pound rucksack. There's great fear that if we verbalize the pain, the beast becomes larger. For us guys who served in uniform, it is essential to talk about guilt. Get it out in the open, in a safe place of trust, and let God take it away. You all know rules returning home from deployment. One of the biggest is no contraband ordinance. There's good reason for this. When I was a kid, someone brought home an enemy hand grenade from theater. His younger brother found it and decided to show it to his friends. As they were playing with it, the grenade exploded, snuffed out the life of 7 children in a small Midwestern city. Dang, what a waste. So unnecessary. Guilt is just as dangerous as a contraband grenade. When we carry around guilt, we are like a grenade on a short fuse. We feel guilty. We don't know how to handle it. We push back loved ones and distance ourselves emotionally or physically. Guilt affects our sleep, how we look at life, how we approach friends, and how we perceive how others look at us. Many ask, why did I come home and my battle buddy die? If you have laryngitis, the first thing a doctor tells you, don't talk. Might work for the voice box, but it crushes the spirit. Deep within the soul of a warrior is a need to address the guilt. We carry it around with us. All too often, we cannot hear the voice of forgiveness because the roar of guilt is deafening. There's a story in the Bible about King David, also called the Warrior King. He committed a great sin. He hid it in silence. After his confession, forgiveness, and restoration, he would write, "When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy on me. My strength was sapped in the heat of summer." Sound familiar? The situation is desperate and clear. David is isolated. He cannot engage in meaningful relationships. He's in physical pain, groaning and moaning from the guilt. Sleep is elusive for the great king. In the end, guilt squeezes everything out of you. There's nothing left. You're sapped, smoked like a cheap cigar. No good to anybody, family, friends, to yourself. David gives a solution. He wrote, "Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin." And why would God do that? Forgive the guilt of your sin? There's only one reason. Because someone took your guilt upon himself. That someone? God's only Son, Jesus Christ. Forgiveness is described as giving up the right to be angry. Because Jesus took the cause of your guilt to the cross, God gave up his right to be angry with you. Confessing your sin to him is not like telling him a secret. Jesus knew it before you did it. He was punished for the crime before it was committed. That is why he can forgive the guilt of your sin. So when God forgives, you are forgiven. End of story as far as God is concerned. When Jesus said, "It is finished," it was, is, and always will be. But what if you have done that and still cannot escape the crushing weight of guilt? Listen to the words of the Apostle John. "Even when our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts." Our relationship with God is not based upon how we feel it. It is based upon what he declares. "Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the one whose sin the Lord does not count against them. Have you debriefed with God about your guilt? If not, it's time.